Good morning, everyone. I'm presenting interesting case number 649. A 65-year-old female presented with pain in the abdomen since 6 months. Pain was insidious in onset and progressive in nature. No aggravating or relieving factors. History of hematuria since 6 months. She had 3 to 4 episodes. History of burning micturition since 6 months. Personal history, diet, appetite, sleep, bowel bladder habits, all were normal. Past history, she is a known case of diabetes since 9 months. And family history, nothing significant. General physical examination was within normal limits. Coming to systemic examination per abdomen, on inspection, it was flat, umbilicus was central and inverted, no scars or dilated veins. On palpation, soft suprapubic tenderness was present, no local rise of temperature, and no organomegaly. On percussion, dull note was present all over the abdomen, and on auscultation, bowel sounds were heard. Coming to investigations, hemoglobin was 10.2 gram percentage, and ESR was raised. USG abdomen was done, which showed evidence of large mixed echogenic lesion, approximately measuring 11.5 into 8.6 centimeter in the peritoneal cavity in the infraumbilical region, extending to left iliac fossa, possibly arising from bowel loop. This was the gross specimen which we received, a gray yellow tissue mass which was measuring approximately 18 into 16 into 6 centimeter. On cut section, multiple grayish white areas were noted and areas of necrosis and hemorrhage were noted. Coming to microscopy, on low power, we can see spindle shaped cells arranged in bundles and fascicles. Here also we can see spindle shaped cells arranged in bundles or fascicles. On high power we can see pleomorphic cells which are spindle shaped, and we can also see the mitotic figures. We can see the mitosis here. And also noted are some foci of clear cells. So the diagnosis made was malignant GIST. Because section studied shows malignant spindle cell tumors with pleomorphic cells arranged in bundles and fascicles. Also seen are foci of pseudoglandular and clear cell change. Brisk mitosis with extensive areas of hemorrhage and necrosis are seen. Review of literature. A gastrointestinal stromal tumor is the most common mesenchymal tumor of the human gastrointestinal tract, with an estimated incidence of 10 to 15 per 1 million per year. These distinctive tumors that show differentiation characteristics of the interstitial cells of Kajal, the gut pacemaker cells, represent the great majority of gastric mesenchymal tumors or precursors to these cells. Affected individuals can develop one or more tumors. Histogenetics. Most cases of GIST are sporadic and are not inherited. These cases are associated with a somatic mutation, which is a genetic change that occurs in the tumor cells and occurs during a person's lifetime. In some cases of familial GIST, including those associated with mutations in the KIT and PDGFRA genes, the condition is usually inherited in an autosomal dominant pattern, which means one copy of an altered gene in each cell is sufficient to increase a person's chance of developing tumors. A second, somatic mutation is needed for tumor formation. When familial GIST is associated with mutations in other genes, it can have an autosomal recessive pattern of inheritance, which means alterations in both copies of the gene in each cell increase a person's chance of developing tumors. Clinical considerations. Clinically, most GIST occur in adults, but they have also been described in children and neonates. About 60% of GIST occur in the stomach, the most common symptoms being abdominal pain and melena. In terms of specific location, most clinically apparent cysts of the stomach are located in the pars media, that is 40%, followed by the antrum. Although 20% occur near the pylorus, obstruction is rare. Approximately 60% are submucosal and grow toward the lumen, where they make a smooth projection. In time, central ulceration may occur, more commonly with the clinically malignant tumors, and may penetrate deeply into the tumor mass and result in hematemesis. The smooth outline of the tumor and the central niche result in a highly characteristic radiographic appearance. Approximately 30% of the tumors are subserosal and other 10% are intramural. Clinical findings. The most frequent symptoms include gastrointestinal bleeding and subsequent anemia, followed by abdominal pain, weight loss, and a palpable abdominal mass. Cysts are unusually associated with bowel obstruction or perforation, except in cases of large tumors. Coming to grossly they tend to be well circumscribed and have a smooth, lobulated, or whorled silk appearance on cut section. An hourglass defect may occur at the cardia or pylorus if the tumor encircles the stomach. Prominent fibrohyaline areas may be present and they may undergo calcification. Here we can see the gross appearance of cyst. This is example of a polypoid and there is large central scar. Coming to microscopic appearances. Microscopically, cysts may have a moderate or high cellularity and can be divided into three main types. Spindle cell type, that is 70%, epithelioid type 20%, and mixed type in 10%. Typical spindle cell tumors are composed of interlacing bundles or whorls of uniform spindle-shaped cells with ovoid or elongated, blunt-ended nuclei and fibrillary eosinophilic cytoplasm that may contain a single clear paranuclear vacuole. Here we can see spindle-celled gastric intestinal stromal tumor with the hyperchromatic nuclei and frequent mitosis are seen. Epithelioid cysts. Previously they were termed leiomyoblastomas. They occur more commonly in the antrum and most often consist of round, vacuolated or clear cells, typically arranged in cohesive sheets or nest that impart the epithelioid pattern. The cytoplasmic vacuoles may partly or completely surround the nucleus, occasionally giving rise to signet ring forms. This is the image of epithelioid gastric tumor with the prominent cytoplasmic vacuoles. We can see clear cells with cytoplasmic vacuoles. Coming to immunohistochemistry, they are positive for KIT, DOG1 and protein kinase C theta. Other markers are CD34, smooth muscle actin, S100, protein, desmin and keratin. Expression of KIT, that is CD117, which is found in the vast majority, 90% of cysts. Staining is usually strong and widespread and may be distributed diffusely in the cytoplasm, localized to a perinuclear dot or membranous. However, in some cases it can be patchy or weak. Mostly 80% of gastric cysts also express CD34. Again, patchily in some, but smooth muscle actin is demonstrable in about 25%, desmin in about 5%, and S100 protein in less than 1% of cases. Here we can see CD117 diffuse cytoplasmic staining in tumor cells. This is the diagnostic and treatment flow of cyst. If the patient is asymptomatic and no histological findings are seen, if the size of the tumor is less than 2 centimeters, then only follow-up is done 1 or 2 times in a year. And if high-risk features are present, they consider biopsy or surgery. If the size is 2 to 5 centimeters, CT, esophageal ultrasonography and FNA are done. And they follow the guidelines like surgery. And if the size is more than 5 centimeters, or if the patient is symptomatic and has got histological gist, all the features, then surgery is suggested. Coming to recent advances, GIST that do not present KIT or PDGFRA mutations from the group form the group named KIT or PDGFRA wild type. Here, this is the molecular classification and characteristic of KIT or PDGFRA wild type. They are SDH deficiency. There is SDHX mutations or SDHC promoter hypermethylation. They can have mutation in BRAF V600E, NF1 mutation, and quadruple wild type GIST. Coming to differential diagnosis of GIST, they can be smooth muscle like leiomyoma or leiomyosarcoma, neural tissues like schwannoma, MPNST, neurofibroma, neuroendocrine tumor, carcinoid, and carcinosarcoma. Connective tissue cells like fibromatosis or desmoid tumor, solitary fibrous tumor, inflammatory fibroid polyp, and others like angiosarcoma, clear cell sarcoma, liposarcoma, synovial sarcoma, malignant mesothelioma, sarcomatoid carcinoma, metastatic melanoma, dedifferentiated carcinoma. We will see the histological features of important ones. Leiomyosarcoma, it shows fascicular growth pattern, palisading of spindle cells with eosinophilic fibrillary cytoplasm, focal granularity. Nuclei are cigar-shaped and blunt-ended with variable atypia, often with cytoplasmic vacuoles at both ends of nuclei. Mitotic figures are commonly seen, and they are positive for SMA, Vimentin, and Desmin. This is the microscopic image of leiomyosarcoma. Here we can see the cells are arranged in the bundles and fascicles, and we can see the cigar-shaped nuclei. Malignant fibrous histiocytoma, storiform pattern, irregular fascicles, variable cellularity, pleomorphic and bizarre tumor cells with foamy cytoplasm and marked atypia in background of inflamed collagenous stroma. IHC, they are positive for Vimentin, alpha-1 antitrypsin, alpha-1 anti-chymotrypsin. This is the low power of malignant fibrous histiocytoma. Now we can see the whirling pattern, marked pleomorphism with bizarre nuclei. Dedifferentiated liposarcoma. Dedifferentiated component is a cellular and typically a non-lipogenic sarcoma with significant pleomorphism. They are positive for MDM2 and CDK4. Here we can see the fibrosarcoma-like areas. These are my references. Thank you.